guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about intermittent fasting and how to get started if you're brand new to this lifestyle. So I'm so excited to have you guys here. If you missed my transformation video with my husband, I'll pop the little card up here. Together we lost over 114 pounds following ketogenic diet, and intermittent fasting is something that we added in a little bit later on as we learn more about the keto lifestyle and really just trying to work with our bodies to get the best results, not only for weight loss but also for our health. And so through learning about it, I dove into the research, and the goal of this video is basically to condense for you hours and hours and hours of content into like a really easy to follow little video that summarizes how to do it, how to get started, and how it works. So basically, intermittent fasting, if you've never heard of this before, I know the term fasting can be super scary to a lot of people because people think that's like not eating, and am I going to be hungry, and is this something I can even do? And I know, because when I first heard about it, I was like, what the heck is this intermittent fasting, and how does it work? So basically, the most popular intermittent fast that most people get started on is called a 16 8-hour fast, which means within a window of 16 hours, that is when you are not eating, but you eat all of your food within an 8-hour window. You can have still the same amount of meals. If you're eating snacks, you can have snacks, but ideally you want to space out the foods that you're eating in as few meals as possible and try to have larger meals with less snacking in between. And there's a reason for that, and that big reason is insulin spikes. You don't want to spike the hormone insulin because that's what causes the fat storage, and you cannot lose fat if you have insulin present. Insulin's primary goal is to help you store fat, so don't do it, okay? Don't do the snacking thing. If you're eating all day long, if you're literally in the habit of sitting at your office and snacking on nuts, even ketogenic friendly types of foods, and even if you're not doing the keto diet, intermittent fasting is something you can do as well. But I just want to throw that out there as like a little side tip. You just want to watch the amount of snacking you're doing, because the longer periods that you go without any type of calories that you are consuming, the better, because of the whole insulin thing. Now, there are so many benefits to intermittent fasting. The main one that people really latch onto is for weight loss purposes, because when you get started intermittent fasting, what happens is you're giving your digestive system a break for a long period of time. And now all of a sudden, your body can begin healing itself, and it's going to be running on your own stored fat throughout this time that you're fasted. If you're constantly eating, you're constantly just burning the foods that you're eating. You want to be burning the fat off your body, right? If your goal is weight loss. So let's just focus in on the weight loss goal. If you're trying to get started on an intermittent fasting lifestyle, here's the thing. If you're also starting the keto diet at the same time, I would recommend you wait a couple weeks to start on intermittent fasting until you get past the beginning stages of the keto diet, the keto flu. You begin to learn how to fit this lifestyle into your life, and then add in intermittent fasting a little bit later. That way, you're not overwhelming yourself, and you're not like setting yourself up for failure. You're kind of doing it in steps. So if you've been doing the ketogenic diet a while, then the good news for you is you're already able to go longer periods of time without eating, so you're all set up to be able to start intermittent fasting. And you've probably noticed that you can go longer in between meals without even being hungry before you realize you haven't had anything to eat for a while. And that is a perfect signal that your body is ready for intermittent fasting. So someone brand new getting into this, what I suggest that you do is don't just jump right into a full 16 8-hour fast. What I would suggest you do is, and here's kind of the breakdown of what a typical 16 8-hour fast looks like, so you can kind of wrap your mind around this. Most people have their first meal at noon, and then they stop eating by 8 p.m. So there's 8 hours of eating within that window. So you don't want to be eating the entire 8 hours straight. You want to have your first meal at noon. You want to maybe have a second meal at like 2 or 3, and if you have a third meal at like 7 p.m., done eating by 8 p.m. That would be the goal. Or have your first meal at noon, have your second meal like at 7 p.m. Some people like just having 2 meals. It really depends on you. The fewer meals you have, the better, and don't fall into the trap that a lot of the low fat, low calorie people will tell you you need to eat every 2 hours for your metabolism. Not if you're following the ketogenic diet. You don't have to worry about that. It's actually the opposite of the truth, and you're gonna find things that can work with that diet don't work with keto, and the same goes the other way around. So if you're gonna try the 16 8-hour fast and that is your goal, but let's say you're used to waking up in the morning and having your first meal at like 7 a.m. The moment your feet hit the floor, you're having your first meal right away, or you're having coffee with cream and all of this and that, and maybe making some bacon, you're doing the keto diet and all of that. What I want you to do is tomorrow, try having that first meal at 8 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. And then just try the following day, maybe do another day at 8 a.m. and then push it back another hour, so it's 9 a.m. What's going to happen is your body produces the hunger hormone ghrelin when it's typically used to having food. So if your normal pattern is having food first thing in the morning, you're gonna feel hungry at first because your body produces that hormone expecting you to now be eating at that time. So your body's pretty smart, and what's going to happen is if you don't eat for a consecutive amount of days at the typical time and you start pushing it back, all of a sudden that hormone is going to be released later and later. So when you get to the point where you're eating your first meal at noon, you should not feel hungry at all. It should be totally natural and normal for you, and your body's going to release ghrelin at that time at noon. So then you have your first meal, that's when you start getting hungry. Some people can even push it back even further than noon and have their first meal at 1 or 2 or 3. This comes with time. Your body just starts working with you and understands your schedule and understands, okay, food is coming between these hours, and you're not eating necessarily less. Maybe you just do it accidentally less, but it's not like you're purposefully trying to eat less within those windows. But sometimes you will just naturally eat less because you're not really eating as often, or there isn't as big of a gap of time when you would be needing to eat, so then you're not gonna be as hungry throughout the day, if that makes sense. So basically that's what some people like to do when they first get started into this lifestyle. Wait until you're a couple to a few weeks into the keto diet, even up to even a month in. Don't jump right into intermittent fasting right away, and then start by just scaling back your meal an hour, and you can stick with that 1 hour. So like, let's say you're used to 7 a.m. and then you're able to get it back to 9 a.m. But at 9 a.m. you're like really hungry. So stick to 9 a.m. for a few days, and then try for 10 a.m. and then try for 11 a.m. and then noon. Now, if you do want to just jump right into, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna have my first meal at noon. I don't care if I'm hungry, it is what it is. Just know that you might be hungry for like 2 or 3 days, probably 3, maybe even 4 days. You might have hunger in the morning until your body connects the signals and stops releasing the hormone at that time. That's the way I did it personally. I was just like, okay, I'm intermittent fasting. Tomorrow I'm having my first meal at noon. I was hungry until noon, and then at noon I ate, and then I did it, and then the following day I did it again, and then the following day all of a sudden I wasn't hungry up until noon. So just know that you're not going to be hungry every day like that. Your body gets the hint. Okay, so you don't have to really stress about it too much. Just know that that's temporary and that will go away. So now the other big question most people ask is, what can I consume during my fasted window? So there's a couple different rule of thumbs, and this can sometimes be controversial because a lot of people have a lot of different views on this, as there's really no one way to prove one way or the other what is right and what is wrong. But through a lot of the research that I've done, pretty much the standard is you don't want to exceed 50 calories during your fasted time. So that means the entire time you're fasted, everything combined, up to 50 calories total. So that means fat coffee, that's not something that you want to do while you are in your fasted state, because that will break your fast, because that's like around 200 calories or more for that fat coffee meal. However, now there is a however with that, because if your goal is really just weight loss, and it's not really concerned with the growth hormone production, which when your body is in that fasted state, you're able to produce a high level of human growth hormone, which helps your body heal and rejuvenate your cells. And as your body heals, you know, you're able to repair things that you would normally not be able to because you're constantly digesting and your body has to focus there. Now with the human growth hormone, that is one thing that if you want the human growth hormone, clearly bulletproof coffee is going to break your fast. You're going to stop the production of human growth hormone. However, if your goal is strictly just weight loss, there has been a lot of studies that say if you have a meal in the morning that is a fat coffee, you're not going to have like the carbs, the sugar, and all of those things that spike the insulin. So fat coffee can help boost your own production of ketones naturally, which ketones helps your body with the burning of fat for fuel. So really you can kind of do it how you want to do it. If you're someone who likes to have, okay, I'm gonna make a fat coffee, and if you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, like what is a fat coffee? A fat coffee is typically just butter, hot coffee, MCT oil, some stevia blended, some people add collagen to that, blended into a coffee drink. It sounds gross, but it's actually really good. Personally, what I do is I have my fat coffee when I break my fast. So like my first meal at noon, that's gonna be my fat coffee. And then really technically my first food doesn't come until like 2 or 3, and then I have my dinner. So I use the fat coffee as one of my meals. So it definitely helps me up my fat in my day, get less protein in my day, because that can be a struggle for a lot of people, and that's just one way that I do it personally. So it's really up to you. It's kind of a gray area, but with the rule of thumb being 50 calories or less, fat coffee is typically out in that situation. Now, a lot of people just drink black coffee, which is perfectly fine. Just, guys, look at the calories. If it's something that has like 50 or less calories, then it's okay during your fasted time. Now, if you go super, super strict and you want the maximum production of human growth hormone that you can possibly get, then that would just be water and black coffee and tea. And like, that's it. Nothing else other than that. Don't even go up to the 50 calories. Just do that during your fasted time. You're gonna get the maximum production of the human growth hormone that you can possibly get. So that would probably be the best way if you can do that. Now, a lot of people do like to add in things like exogenous ketones while they're fasted. Personally, that's what I like to do. They're less than 50 calories, about 40 calories for the ones I use. And what that does is it helps your body basically prolong your fast, because what happens is when I have ketones while I'm fasted, I end up fasting a lot longer. I end up having my first meal way later. Without the ketones, I'm typically right around 16 hours. With the ketones, I can go up to 21 hours sometimes. So obviously the longer period you go in between meals, the better, because that's less insulin spikes in your system and all of that. So I definitely use it as a tool, but it also keeps me from being hungry. I'm not hungry, and it helps my energy level. And also it's really, really good to do it before a workout. So some people will do that, or they will do like a pre-workout drink. Just make sure you check the labels on your pre-workout to make sure you're not going over in calories, make sure there's no sugar in there, all of those things. But you can do that as long as it fits within that 50 calories or less. And then also, if you're working out, the recommended time to work out is right before you break your fast. I know this doesn't work for a lot of people's schedules. That's totally understandable, because a lot of people can't just work out at like noon, 11:30 or like 2 p.m. right before they eat something. And so don't stress about that. Don't worry about it. If you can do that, then do it. If not, any time you work out is really perfect and is good for you. So I would recommend, if you are drinking exogenous ketones, I'll put the information for the ones that I use that I love in the description. But if you are using the ketones, you can do that while you are working out. I like to drink mine literally during the workout. I don't usually drink the ketones all at once. I spread them out a little bit. So really the calories are kind of getting spread out, because I mix it up and then I start drinking it. I drink it during my workout, and then I'm still drinking it after. Like, it takes me sometimes a couple hours to get through the entire thing of the ketones, because I just kind of sip on it as I go in my life. And so, but if you want to drink it all at once, you can too. That's fine. BCAAs, be careful on that. It's going to break your fast from a lot of the research that I have pulled and I have done, but don't be afraid to do your own research. Search, does BCAA break a fast? You're gonna find a ton of research on that. I have personally found that it does. So I actually did purchase BCAAs at one point. I was using them, and then I stumbled upon the research that says that they will break your fast. So I just kind of nixed that, and so I haven't been doing the BCAA thing, and it's been perfectly fine. So that's pretty much that. Yeah, so if you're gonna do coffee and you just wanna do coffee, you can put a little bit of cream in there. While you're fasted, as long as, like I said, it's below the 50 calories. So just to make it super simple for you, if you look at a label, if it has more than 50 calories, don't do it. If it's less than 50 calories and you can just have it within that time frame, you're perfectly fine. Stevia would be the only sweetener that I would suggest during the time that you are fasted. And that's pretty much how that works. So hopefully this video helped you guys understand intermittent fasting a little bit better and how to get started on this lifestyle. Oh, one thing I want to mention, because I get this question asked all the time, how long do you have to do it for? Like, some people think, oh, maybe I can just do an intermittent fast for like a week and then I will be like lose 20 pounds. You got to make this your lifestyle, and you're not going to see benefits right away. The benefits come later on, and the benefits are so incredible, right down to like even tightening your skin, loose skin, so many different benefits. But it takes time, and you just have to kind of, and like I mentioned before, once you start eating again early, your body starts working kind of like, you're going to start releasing that hormone again early. So what you want to do is find something that works really well in your lifestyle and then keep doing it. Because trust me, if you go an entire year intermittent fasting, you're going to find at the end of that year, your results are going to be insane. You're going to feel great, and it's just going to be amazing for your health. So I get asked that all the time. If you have a question on intermittent fasting, I would love to help you out. Comment below, and I'm here to answer and help you in any way that I can. Thanks guys for checking out this video. Check out my channel. I have a ton of tips and tricks for the ketogenic diet. What I try to do is make the information super easy to absorb and understand, so that I can save you some time, because I put in hours and hours of research to create one little 20-minute video like this to provide for you the content so that you don't have to go and do that. So thanks guys for checking out my channel. Take care.